All right. This is the Painesville Planning Commission meeting for April 25th, 2023. This was advertised in the newspaper, the link, Progressive Journal, and posted at Town Hall. I'll call the meeting to order. I'll let you get a copy of the agenda for today. Is there a motion to approve the agenda? So moved. Is there a second? Second by Ms. Evans. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving the agenda, please raise your right hand. It's unanimous. All of you received a copy of the minutes of the previous meeting.
And they're magnificent.
Is there a motion to approve the previous meeting's minutes? Motion by Mr. Griffin. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Dale. Any discussion? Hearing none, call for question. All those in favor of approving last month's minutes, please raise your right hand. It's unanimous. Thank you. All right, public comments.
I'm going to tour a meat processing plant in King Street on May 15th because there is a proposed meat processing plant trying to come onto the bypass, which is why I've been on that bypass overlay situation over and over and over. I've asked a lot of questions, questions I cannot seem to figure out. Planning commissions I have asked, are they buying the whole property? Are they looking at holding animals? How many live animals are they gonna have on site? How many animals are gonna be in holding pens? What's the smell gonna be having? It's a lot different when it was a rabbit processing plant that had rabbits in little cages out back. Having swine and bovine in holding pens, no one has been able to answer because there's nothing in code, there's nothing in our ordinances that says how many animals can be held in a commercial property space. Now, we have that in our residential ordinances. You can't even have a potbelly pig in town. So my question is, that is right across the street from a citizen. It is within smell distance of a house. It's also across the street from a proposed business that's coming in. In fact, they've looked at the property twice and it could affect that. But my question is, how do we go about this? We have proposed this bypass overlay before these people. I don't want to hear this, well, we're going to grandfather them in because they've already been moving forward. No, we've been moving forward on this bypass overlay long before this processing plant even was suggested. So I'm asking the council I'm asking the planning commission to ask the council and the administrator to expedite immediately the bypass overlay or put some kind of a halt or moratorium on issuing new business license on the bypass. We've already dealt with this with that little yellow trailer, and now we could possibly be dealing with this. I've talked to the citizens that are within walking distance of this. They knew nothing about this. So I think this is something that Planning Commission dealing with this type of business coming in. We've been talking about keeping our bypass looking, somewhat nice. I mean, I'm not saying that a meat processing plant isn't nice. It will be a USDA processing plant. My fear is no one can answer, and nowhere in our ordinances it tell us how many cows, how many pigs you can have in holding pens waiting for processing, and how long those animals can be held. So that is something I'm asking the Planning Commission to immediately expedite working on so we can have that information ASAP.
Where is it going to be?
The old rabbit processing plant across from where a proposed hotel is looking at going.
That still doesn't answer my question. I don't know where the
Oh,
process is.
South Street 10. It's South Street in the bypass, so where Gum intersects with the bypass.
You know where Miss Nancy Mangum lives at, right there by her house.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was rabbits, then it was quail, and then it went to farm.
Right. So, that's, thank
thank you, Mr. Crawford. This, if y'all don't know, this is Ms. Crawford from the link.
Hey, Ms. Crawford.
Hi, Jane, how are you?
She's gonna be covering the riveting news of the planning commission.
Keep it
Going
exciting.
forward. Yeah, we'll keep it exciting. We have had some exciting moments.
Yeah.
Okay, next item is commission items. Final plat review, Eagles Crest subdivision. If any of you have not been out, they've started their, they put the first layer of asphalt down, so it's starting to look like a subdivision out there. So the last meeting, they had a laundry list of things that had not been, questions that had not been answered by our engineer at PD Cog. There was a couple of things that the fire chief had asked for prior to us giving our wave of the wand and do the final plat review. So I will ask the fire chief, as the, and the codes enforcement officer, have they met all of the requirements that you've placed upon them to satisfy our needs to approve, disapprove, conditionally approve the final plat?
Short answer is yes. They have, the first phase, if you will, loosely defined phase, has fire hydrants, fire protection water supplies in place. Hydrants are in. A few little tweaks to do to them, but we went out and did the flow testing with Centerline this morning to witness that. Pass with flying colors, actually exceeds the minimum standards. That's a really good sign that things are going well out there. However, I don't have any definitive information regarding the other outstanding items that Mr. Sly is privy to with PD Cog and all. Just the fire protection part, good shape. It's moving along.
So I was able to get with Sandy at PD Cog today. For those of you who don't know, the executive director of the PD Cog passed away unexpectedly over the weekend, and his funeral was today, so PD Cog was actually closed today. And I attended that funeral earlier today. But I did get a chance to talk to Sandy this morning, and what she told me was she's looked at the asphalt. The only thing she does not have is the asphalt tickets to finalize the approval on the asphalt. She said it looks like it's right, but she wants the tickets just to verify the numbers. So that's her only holdup. She also says that the bonding looks good to her. She said the fire flows were good to her. The survey for the center line and the edge points of the asphalt, she says she can get those later. She said the asphalt tickets is the only thing that she has. I did talk to Jay earlier today, and I told Jay that, the asphalt tickets is what she needs, but she wasn't going to be able to review them today because of the funeral. He asked if y'all would do a contingent approval, that once Sandy's had a chance to approve them, at that point, once she approves the asphalt tickets, then it's actually, so it'd be a conditional approval until, it's not actually approved until Sandy gets the asphalt tickets, reviews them, and says yes on them. Is what she's asking, or what Jay's asking for the planning commission to do.
Okay. Question for you. So, I know there was some question last time on what, and the fire chief alluded to it, was that what is considered the first phase out there? If we do a final plat approval, we don't have a final plat on everything. We only have the plat on the first 36.
We're doing the final plat on the first 36 is what we're defining here.
So we're going to call that the first phase, and that's all we're approving at this time.
We're phasing, the first 36 that they have on the plat is what they're asking for.
Because when they're ready to get, are they ready to pull permits on those first 36?
I think they're fairly close.
Okay. So the question is going to be, if we conditionally approve this, pending the information they need to get to Sandy at PD Cog, and she's okay with it, then we're conditionally approving on that, on the first 36 homes, which is the first phase.
Right.
Where do we stand on the impact fees on the first phase and the rest of the project.
So that is, again, like I told you last month, between council and the attorneys.
Okay?
The attorneys gave guidance. I've done my due diligence. I'm waiting on the response so that I can provide it back to the attorney and to council.
Okay. Okay.
We can, at the end of the day, if they were to go pull permits, I can talk to Derek and we can hold up COs on any of that until we get a final answer from.
Okay. 'Cause I don't wanna give our blessing on the whole project and go, oh, well, the planning commission said everything's good to go, we're moving forward, and we're not paying, impact fees, we're just getting permits and building. Because
Right.
the planning commission said we're good to go. I'm not looking to do that.
Right.
So, is there a motion to make a conditional approval of the final plat for Eagles Crest subdivision pending the outstanding work that's due to Sandy with PD cog on the first 36 homes, which is phase 1?
I make a motion to,
And that's pending, that's pending, that's on council and their attorneys, but that should be stipulated in there, I think. That my understanding is when we put impact fees in place, they went in place at 12:01 midnight on the date that council made second reading on, and then we've done some amendments to it, but I think they should apply. And where they work that out, if they're gonna fight it, then I don't want it to be that the planning commission was the weak link in the process that let it get through. Because this town could not stand, for that development going without the impact fees.
Can that be part of the motion?
if we're doing a conditional,
Yeah. We put all conditions.
but would that, I mean, any discussion that council had with attorneys would
Yeah, we-
negate whatever?
Yeah, we can't make a motion on what council's doing.
Can you make a motion pending their final decision? The approval's pending their final decision.
Well, and if,
Well, they've met their requirements under our umbrella. If they've met their requirements under our umbrella, there's nothing we can control beyond that. So I'll revert back to your original motion, which is
I do the conditional, approval until Sandy can confirm that everything she required has been met.
okay. All right, so the motion is to give conditional approval on the final plat for Eagles Crest subdivision, pending, information getting to Sandy with PD cog.
And that's the only condition we can put on it.
But, we can't control what
the
council does.
No, sir.
Second by Mr. Ratliff. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll call for question. All those in favor of conditional approval, final plat approval for Eagles Crest subdivision, raise your right hand. Is Mr. Ratliff, you affirmative? Okay, all right, that's unanimous. You unanimous? You raise your hand.
Kind of like.
That was affirmative? Okay, I'm not sure it was unanimous. Okay. All right, other items. The proposed truck route from US 601 from Laney Road, South Pearl, and Highway 151 bypass.
I'm in the process of writing the ordinance on it. I'll have it for council's next council meeting.
Okay.
Just for clarification, if you will go downtown by Burgers on Pearl, the reason the chamber is pushing for this reroute, we lost a lamp yesterday. 18-wheeler came down, tried to turn, couldn't make the turn, took down one of our decorative lamps and drug it around the corner.
So hopefully we'll get that going. How about the subdivision ordinance and bypass overlay? Getting updates from the consultant on that?
They sent us a bill, and we paid the first phase of the bill, because the bill was in
Have
four
any
installments.
Product to share with us? Okay. All right.
We paid
We'll get some
we paid
more payment.
we paid 25% of the bill.
Okay. All right.
They plan on meeting with the,
I think he's gonna draft it and then it'll be a meeting with them. So he does a draft, and then goes through items with them.
Okay, going to the staff report. Is there any updates on Lane Farm?
None other than,
There was something going on with making sure they had enough fire flow there.
yeah, the most recent hydrant fire flow data from the hydrant that's not owned by the town nearby the project, which is Rural Waters hydrant. That's been shared with Kenny Graffin, and my understanding is that they're doing the water modeling part to try to figure out how to make the meter stuff work, and working with Rural Water on getting the meter requirement satisfied so they can work on that.
So one addition to that, there was some talks whenever we talked with Rural Water and the developers up there on, getting the water to it. Rural Water's engineer, which is Myron, town uses Myron some too. They talked about if they received the SCIP grant, that they would have even more water flow. Well, it was announced yesterday that Rural Water's getting $10 million from SCIP grant. And Alligator, Rural Water's getting a little, $8.4 million. So,
How did we figure?
zero,
Nothing? Not a guy.
zero, goose egg.
0.0.
You can add a couple more zeros to that if you'd like to.
Zero. Anything else from staff? Okay. Anything, Mr. Sly? Anything from the rest of the commission? Any items? Okay. All right. So that concludes our items on the agenda. The next meeting is May 30th at 5 p.m. I know Ms. Helms will not be here.
Real quick, I do have one quick thing. I asked Jay Stockleather about, there's two properties in Amberley that are not currently annexed. I've gotten one of them, he's looking for the other one. If he gets both of those, then I'm gonna push those through for annexation. That way, that whole development will be annexed, not two outliers in that development. But I did want to tell you, it just hit me that we did get one of them. I got one of them today on my email, and he's looking for the other one.
Are we ready to buy robot garbage cans and all that for these new?
Here's the short answer. I ordered roll carts January of last year. They showed up February of this year. That was the longest 16 weeks of my life.
Is there anything, I'm sorry about that. Is there anything on the county planning commission? Have you had a meeting?
I got a letter from, I'm not gonna say his name because I can't remember, from the guy who's kind of leading the.
Joseph?
Trying to find,
Joseph?
yes,
Joseph.
He's
Went
trying
to
to
Cobb.
find a day that we can meet consistently. And I sent him, I said, once school's out, I can meet every day. But he was talking about meeting sometime during the day, and I said, I can't do that, so.
I had a feeling that that's what was gonna go on if we would have ditched our planning commission to go with the county planning commission, that it would have a hard time getting off the ground.
Well, he's done a little bit of work, I mean, he sent some paperwork that he's done, and I haven't really looked at what's left to be done, and most of it's left to be done.
Okay. All right, very good. Okay. All right, next meeting is May 30th at 5 p.m. Unless y'all don't have anything else, I will
training, that's the one you're not gonna be at?
Yes.
Where are you gonna be?
Garrett's got awards night, senior awards night that night.
That's
Skip that.
Well, can you be here that night, 30? Because y'all have
That-
award stuff too.
That last week of school, I can't promise anything.
Somewhere in June, we may need to look at doing the training.
Okay.
Maybe mid to late June, we need to
We still
plan.
have to pay- We have to pay for it?
If I get Charlie to come here, no.
Okay.
So that, mid to late June, we need to look at doing the training. I'll also get with the Board of Zoning Appeals, try to get everybody here and get the training in. That, maybe one evening or two evenings, something like that. Maybe half of it 1 month, a half of it another month or something, just to get y'all through it, because we need to get the training in.
What training is that?
The yearly training.
Oh, you gotta do it.
I was gonna ask
You got to go online and do the full 6 hours.
I got to this fall to do it. I need
Yeah.
that information to do it.
Oh.
That's all that.
Still on the last minute like I did.
Now, Amy, they reimbursed, so you,
I didn't have to pay for it, but the deal did.
Yeah.
It was free when I took the home training, but when he went to do it, he had to pay.
The entire training is free, and before the COVID stuff finished, they were allowing you to go back and do 3 hours of the initial training as you're continuing ed. Well, they've changed that again. Now you have to do continuing ed classes and they charge for them, or have somebody from MASC
there's
come
not
here.
reimbursements for that.
We will, we prefer you to come to the training where somebody's actually here.
Some of that stuff, those are notes that I wrote whenever I took the training last year. Some of that stuff might have changed between then and now.
And you might have to go to Shane.
Yes, if you have any
To talk to
questions,
somebody, to
me,
make
'cause
sure you
that's
have
the last
access
thing I
to it. I
remember.
couldn't get to it until Shane talked to somebody.
Yeah, but the first, with you having to do 6 hours, you're probably, there's probably relevant. And if you go to log in, set it up, try setting it up maybe tonight, and then tomorrow log in to see if you can get in, because it takes them a little bit to go in and approve it. But if you set it up tonight, and then maybe tomorrow evening check and see if they've approved it. If they hadn't, then let me know so I can get Kelly to go in and make sure everything's set up correctly.
Jacob, do you want to take notes at the next meeting since I'm not sure if anyone's going to do it?
We want to share the news and start another.
You have been conditionally approved, as soon as you get those asphalt tickets to Sandy and she has a chance to approve them, then they'll be.
Thank you. Oh, man, I'm sorry I'm late.
That's on the first 30,
Apologize.
The first 36
first
there.
36.
Yeah, on the plat. Okay. Y'all started at 5.
Yep.
Sorry about
No,
that.
that's
We had I coach a baseball team and I changed it on the way to Monroe.
This is the quickest meeting we've had in months.
And I had 5:30. I apologize. I meant to be here.
I was gonna ask for
Sorry about
a
that.
motion to adjourn.
I move.
Motion to adjourn, is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Griffin. All those in favor, raise your right hand. It's unanimous.
Jacob,
Thank